Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm sharing a lot of in-depth information about the reflexes that a baby is born with and ATNR. So let's get to work without any further delay.
As the baby begins to mature, the neck muscles start developing further, and as a result, the baby is seen making efforts to lift and support the head on the neck. What is ATNR? ATNR stands for Asymmetric Tonic Neck Reflex. Let us first understand what reflexes are. Reflex is an automatic response to a stimulus. Certain sensations or movements produce specific muscle responses. What does it mean? Let us understand with an example. In adults, when a person puts his or her finger into fire, the person, in a fraction of a second, pulls the finger out of the fire. It is a reflexive action. Similarly, in newborns, you may have noticed many reflexive responses. For example, you may have observed that when you stroke the palm of your baby with your fingers, the baby curls his or her fingers around your finger. It is a response to the sensation that you produced on the baby's palm, and the baby's wrapping the fingers around your finger is a muscle response given by the baby. This response or the reflex is called palmar reflex or grasping reflex. These reflexes are suppressed by the development of the frontal lobes as a child transitions normally into child development. Imagine trying to teach your newborn how to poop. Thankfully, you don't have to, because babies are born with approximately 17 known primitive reflexes, like blinking or cuffing. Primitive reflexes are automatic behaviors that don't have to be learned or practiced. Why are these primitive reflexes important? These primitive reflexes help the babies in birthing process and thrive. The presence and strength of these primitive reflexes is an important indicator of the development and functioning of the nervous system. The grasping reflex is one of the involuntary motions that babies produce. Let us understand this once again. Your baby's central nervous system, CNS, includes their brain and spinal cord. When you stroke your baby's palm, it automatically orders your baby's muscles to respond to the stimulus provided by you. At this stage, the response is involuntary. By the time your baby reaches 4 to 6 months of age, their brain should have matured and replaced these involuntary movements with voluntary ones. In simple words, the baby's brain should now be able to decide when and how to respond to a stimulus. Adults who have an undiagnosed retained ATNR may get into trouble. I will explain it as we move ahead in this video. So coming back to ATNR, let us understand ATNR at length now. ATNR is asymmetric tonic neck reflex, which is a primitive reflex, and it emerges 18 weeks in utero. It is also known as fencing reflex because of the position the baby acquires when the stimulus is provided. How can we check if ATNR is activated in the baby? Lay the baby on the bed with his or her back on the bed. Gently turn the head of the baby on one side. Say you turn the head towards the baby's left side. Notice that the baby in some time will open or extend his or her left limbs. the left arm and the left leg, and curls the right arm and the right leg inward like a fencer taking the fencing position. What is retained ATNR? Like I have said earlier, that these primitive reflexes are involuntary at birth, and as the baby develops, most of their reflexes should become voluntary and disappear at a particular age. But in some cases, these reflexes do not disappear or become voluntary. These reflexes are retained by the baby much after the expected age of disappearance. They may even remain undiagnosed till adulthood and may reappear due to some reasons like stress. In these hidden and retained reflexes are the precursors of developmental delays in children. These leave multiple effects on the child's life. Let us understand and identify retained ATNR issues in children and its impact on the child's academics. Let us also understand what to do about it. Poor eye-hand coordination. Many times children with retained ATNR have difficulty in skills where eyes and hands are required to work simultaneously, such as in activities where children need both their eyes and hands to work simultaneously are beading, lacing, block building. They exhibit an unusually tight grip on their pencil and may prefer to write with a straight arm. Check the enormous pressure they apply from their shoulder and onto their hand while writing. Their hands may shake while writing. Visual tracking. The child may have difficulty in shifting visual focus from an object or a toy kept at a distance to an object kept comparatively closer. For reading, the eyes need to move along written text by fixating on a word and then to the next word. The child may exhibit poor horizontal eye movement and hence experience difficulty in visually tracking the words. They may skip words, skip lines, move their head too much when reading, use their fingers to keep place when reading. As they copy from the board, they may find it difficult to keep place of the word written on the board and then copy it onto their notebook. They may have trouble comprehending what they read. They may also have poor expression of ideas on paper. Later, the child may show signs of dyslexia. Motor abilities. They may have difficulty in balancing and coordination activities. They may have a tough time learning how to ride a bicycle, catching and throwing a ball, and walking on a beam. Bilateral integration. Bilateral integration refers to the ability to coordinate both sides of the body simultaneously in a controlled and an organized manner. You will observe that the child struggles with stabilizing paper with one hand while writing or cutting with the other, opening a jar by holding the jar in one hand and opening the lid of the jar with the other hand. Ambiguity and laterality. The child may remain confused about the dominance of the hand. The brain may be unable to decide which hand will dominate the activity, the right hand or the left hand, till 6 to 7 years of age. They may have a tough time multitasking. At the beginning of this video, I had mentioned that adults who have an undiagnosed and a retained ATNR may sometimes get into trouble. Let me explain. ATNR may sometimes be an involuntary jerky movement and may surface many years later under specific conditions such as stress. Let me share a case study with you. Sam, with an undiagnosed and a retained ATNR, is driving a car and is getting late to workplace. With the annoying traffic signals and too much noise on the road, Sam begins to lose his cool. The signal turns amber and then to green. Upset Sam looks to the left and then to the right. He slowly moves his car while his head turns towards the left. While in the traffic, he extends his right arm, losing control over the steering wheel, and then a loud bang. Sam opens his eyes in the hospital, clueless. Please diagnose the primitive reflexes at the right time. To know more about the various primitive reflexes and at what age they should get integrated or disappear on their own, please go through my book, Winning Strategies for Parents. It is a very comprehensive book, and 11 child development milestones are written based on the child's age in columns. No rocket science, it is specially written for parents to understand without breaking a sweat. Also, to understand how to integrate the retained ATNR and what exercises should be done to help the child at the right time, please refer to the link for my website, which I have mentioned in the description box below, where I have explained the exercises at length, and they will help you integrate the retained ATNR in the child. So coming back to the very comprehensive book, Winning Strategies for Parents, it has 11 child development milestones, and those milestones are physical development, personal, social and emotional development, communication development, which includes listening and speaking, language, pre-reading, pre-writing, cognitive, mathematical, sensory, creative and self-help development. All of these milestones have been classified into 8 age categories beginning from birth to the first 5 years of the child. In my next video, I am sharing a lot more information about the development and the growth of the baby's head and how to correctly calculate the head circumference of the baby at a particular age is also being shared. So to keep yourself well informed, remember to subscribe to my channel so that when I share more information, you will get a gentle reminder. Till we meet again, be blessed, be safe. Thank you for watching.